Welcome. You're watching the Diwali Muhurat Trading special on the NDTV network. We're welcoming in NDTV 24/7 viewers as well as we go through what is a very special day for those who live, breathe, eat stock markets. Welcome. Neeraj, Parag Thakkar, Kush Bora, of course, with us. We're going to be joined by Alex Matthew at the National Stock Exchange and Hiral Daria at the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, what's interesting is what Muhurat Trading really is all about. And folks, let's start with that. This is a tradition going on from the last 68 years and takes from the concept of the Chopra Puja that Indian business families usually do. But as in the modern time, a lot of money and wealth is connected with the stock exchanges. Those Chopra account books have been replaced with computers and now laptops, and a symbolic puja at both the BSE and the NSE. That's where you have Hiral and Alex joining in. Hiral, let me start with you on what the oldest stock exchange does for Diwali and the tradition where it has begun from, because that's where the whole concept of Muhurat Trading began, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is exactly where I am. I'm standing in the ring right now where Muhurat Trading actually began back then in 1957. Since then, it has continued. I think NSE joined the bandwagon in 1992. But you can see live visuals over here where the Muhurat Trading has already started. If you come with me, this is where the puja is ongoing, and that's where I'm going to take you through, where we have the MD and CEO, Mr. Ramamurthy, and his wife with the Pandits who are performing the puja over here. In fact, we did speak 1257 is when the Abhijit Muhurat started, and that's when they actually started covering this entire puja. They started the Muhurat Trading puja over here. You can see live visuals over here where the puja is ongoing as well. In fact, the Chopra is the key over here. The puja right now which is ongoing is the Lakshmi puja that they are doing. Kuber is something who is also being worshipped. The Lord Kuber and Lord Lakshmi and Lord Ganesh are being worshipped over here. In fact, that interesting aspect I'm going to show you right now is that all this while we were talking about all the Muhurat and the Saudas that were taking place in physical over here, where everyone would talk about aaj 10 share lenge, 20 share lenge, and these were lives that were happening. And now all of that has actually changed into terminals. You'll see a lot of people who are now sitting on the terminals which have been set up over here. I'll take you to them, and these are the ones who are actually going to punch in all their saudas over here. All of them who are wishing each other Happy Diwali, Happy New Year, and all the setups that are being done. I'm going to talk to one of them as well and just tell you through. What is the mood over here like right now? Because initially there were days when we were talking about saudas that were done in the ring. Everything has changed. सब कंप्यूटर पे हो गया है. क्या चेंज हुआ है? आप कितने साल से कर रहे हो पहले तो आज?
She is the trader.
The wife is always the trader.
Oh, she comes here regularly.
I should be speaking to her as well. What is the mood like right now for you?
Mood is all positive. Everyone is in a festive mood. Globally, everyone is happy. The markets are shooting, and it's bull time.
The last 3 days have actually given it a booster as well.
Absolutely.
Happy Diwali last 3 days.
Happy Diwali is come in advance. So, okay, which is the top bet that you're going to make for Muhurat Trading today?
Top bets.
Which is the first order that you're going to buy?
I am buying PNB housing today.
PNB Housing Finance. So that's something which one of the people who actually sits at BSE is going to trade for. So you can actually understand what the mood is like, and now they've actually moved to the Aarti, and post this is when all the saudas will be punched in at BSE. Over to you guys.
Hiral, we love that, and if you can do more of this, we'll keep on coming back to you as opposed to being in the studio, to be honest. But no, we'll also go to the National Stock Exchange, and there Alex is there. And Alex, the mood at the BSE is very, very buoyant, very festive. People are talking about stocks to be bought into as well. What is the mood at the NSE like?
Well, the NSE may never have had physical trading of shares. It is one of the most advanced stock exchanges in the world. But it goes without saying that traditional is at the root of everything that's happening today. As I'm speaking to you right now, the Lakshmi Puja is ongoing. You might see it on some of the screens that are broadcast around here as well. In fact, I'm going to ask Vishal, a camera person, to pan it a little bit just to showcase that if we can. That is ongoing right now, and you will probably see Ashish Kumar Chauhan, who's the managing director of the National Stock Exchange, in that crowd. And behind me, let's pan back, because behind me over here is the bell of the National Stock Exchange. We're minutes away from the start of trade, just about 10 minutes away, and that is where the bell is. So we're going to be ringing that sharp, or rather Ashish Kumar Chauhan will be ringing that sharp at 1:45. But you were talking about Lord Kuber, you were talking about Goddess Lakshmi and Ganpati. There are a lot of important things that are discussed, of course, over the course of Diwali. But more than anything else, I was speaking to a few people. It is a good old stimulus, if you think about it, because people go out and spend. It greases the wheels of the economy, and I think that's exciting a lot of people, even sitting at home right now.
Okay, I mean, this is fantastic. The color is fantastic. So here's what we're going to do at NDTV Profit during this Muhurat Trading. We've given you a sense of what the entire event is about. We have this beautiful clipping from the Bombay Stock Exchange and the newspaper article about its first Muhurat Trading, and we're going to pull that up for you. So that was what happened to the markets then. Shares were subdued. But in most cases, the day of Muhurat Trading sees markets in the positive. Remember, no one comes here really to make a lot of money. It's just a 1 hour trading window. 1:45 to 2:45 is when that window happens. And of course, we have a stellar lineup today. Rahul Arora, market expert, with us in the studios. Kush Bora, Parag Thakkar, all of them talking about what this moment means. Now, Rahul, I'm going to start with you and welcome to the NDTV Profit celebration of Muhurat Trading today. What Muhurat Trading means for you, and especially this year, how are you looking at Samvat 2082?
Firstly, thank you for having me, and wish you, the team and the families, a very happy Diwali, and to all the viewers as well. I think, this day, I think if I take it back to when I started my career at PwC, I remember, even though we had nothing to do with the corporate finance division and nothing to do with the stock markets per se, we used to land up going to office, and I used to wonder, hum office kyun aa rahe? And it was just a bunch of people who had invested in stocks like Gujarat Fluoro and things like that back then, yeah. And they used to just come and watch television and just be very excited. And I think over the years, as we got into investing, it just became tradition. I think more than anything else, it was just tradition. A token bit of buying, as you would do on Dhanteras for either your mother, wife, sister, daughter, whatever. But I think to your second question, I think that's slightly the more pertinent question, because I think the one thing, Tamanna, that's come to light in the last 1 year is asset allocation today is more important than it ever has been. And I don't think, maybe if you rewind your clips to the guest that you spoke to last Samvat, I think 99.9% would have got it wrong in terms of the prediction of the gold and silver up.
No one saw gold coming.
And let me go on record and say that I think that the next 1 year is going to be the same, because I don't think you're going to have a year where equities are going to outperform. Obviously, a couple of years back, you also had the situation where the finance minister changed the taxation on debt, and that helped hugely in terms of equity flows. But this has been the first year where, a lot of the new age investors who've come in post 2020 have seen a flat to negative return year. Now, will this have a resultant impact on flows as we go along? Because you've seen a huge run in gold and silver. Some of my, family friends that we have that are in gold and silver, they're not advocating fresh buying from here, but they're saying there's no reason to sell. And I think if that itself holds out, then I think today, this entire vertical within financial services of wealth management, I think this is going to implode in a far bigger way, is my sense. I think deals will continue to happen in the primary market, because I think the secondary market across the board valuations have topped out. I don't think anyone putting their hand on their heart and valuing a company on FY27 will give you one stock recommendation saying that this is looking like a screaming buy. वो है नहीं इस market में. That's why other asset classes are doing well.
I can debate that, Rahul.
Sorry?
I can debate that. I mean, you look at a clutch of smaller names on the banking side. You look at, for example, cement on the valuation side, maybe even IT relative to historical past on the valuation side. There are some bargains available.
So, okay, let's dive a little deeper into that. Historical versus what you're actually buying it today for the future. Let's start backwards. You said IT. Let's look at TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL Tech, and TechM. all these 5 over the next 2 years are going to grow their top line and bottom line by 7 to 9%. Nobody
leave
is
the
going
large
to
caps
grow.
out.
Sorry?
Leave the large caps out. A clutch of those mid-sized names, non-nifty names.
So Persistent is already at 40x. So what is your exit multiple? So as sell-side brokers, you have to give at least a 15% upside. Most sell-side brokers, in some brokers it's 20%. So you're talking about an exit rate, you're talking about a target multiple of 48 on Persistent system. I'm not saying it can't head there, but I'm saying, is that a reason to buy? By that same token, Dixon Technologies, which has probably for me been the best stock of the market of the last 10 years, how many companies have grown their top line and bottom line compounded by 30% while holding a 30% ROE, ROC? That's remarkable. Now, I think to your point about even banks, Neeraj, I think even if you look at, you were discussing PNB Housing Finance, even if you look at something like a PNB, it's already trading at close to one-time book. I think a DCB after the run it's had is already trading in line with historical averages. HDFC, ICICI are already 2.7, 2.8. There will be some stocks that like an IndusInd Bank or something which are 0.7, 0.8, which are marred by certain external events and they may correct themselves. But I don't think valuations even in banking after this run are cheap. When you're talking about credit growth being not even equal to nominal GDP growth. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound despondent on a good day, but I think a voice of reason just to temper expectations is very important.
Okay.
I mean, even in cement, I'm not disputing.
I would just say expectations cannot be tempered more than they have this last year.
Yeah.
This is a time of a reality check.
No, but I think,
for a whole
Tamanna, that's
host
the
of
point. I think, people have forgotten that this market can actually correct. The market has not corrected. If the Nifty was to head down to 20,000 or 18,000, that's when things end. And it's not a major correction. 20,000 from here is a 20% correction. People have forgotten to even think that this can happen. I mean, Parag Bhai is here. We've seen cycles. We've seen the Asian currency crisis. You've seen the .com. We've seen the 93 blast. We've seen what's happened in 2008, the taper tantrum. Market's correct. I think people have just forgotten that ये हो भी सकता है.
Okay, let's see. I mean, Rahul has the pulse of the market like very few people have. So I wouldn't want to bet against him. But I don't know, somehow the last 12 months, 14 months underperformance leads me to believe that it might well turn out to be the year for equities. I'm not saying gold will outperform or underperform. It's difficult to call. But keep in mind that even the near term, and just before we go to Kush Bora and Deven Choksi, just a very quick setup for the near term, right? Because it's a 1 hour trading window. You might want to put in your trades, Shagun ke saude, what have you. There has been 3 or 4 days of some bit of FI buying that has started to come in. It's only 2,000 crores, 2,165 crores. So nothing dramatic. This market has actually gone up because of some short covering, to be very honest. I mean, you look at the FI long short ratio, the peak short ratio was 94. It is now at 82. So you can very safely say that this has happened because of the short covering bound as yet, and because the cash buying is only 2,000 crores. But you would probably see smart money, some bit of smart money starting to book some profits in all areas except consumption. So keep in mind, I think the one pocket that everybody is betting on is consumption. And we'll talk about that in detail. But very quickly, Kush Bora, thanks for joining in today. And are you doing some trading bets this morning or this afternoon for today or for the next few days?
Sure. First of all, very happy Diwali, guys. And I think this is an order. This is a coffee bet that I lost yesterday.
Thank you.
What was the bet about?
The bet was whether Nifty will hit 26,000 yesterday before closing. It did not, came fairly close, but the terms were fair. The wager was very clear, and I lost. So that's your coffee. But no, I will be a little more optimistic than Rahul. I think there is a good chance and there is a good case to be made for the Nifty to head towards 30,000, in the next 12 months, and Bank Nifty 69, 70,000. We've had a period of consolidation. While I agree to his point that can the Nifty go down from here? Most certainly, Parag and I have also been discussing how you might want to sit on some cash when the markets are going up right now. What we've seen in the last 3-4 years is that the volatility has been very sharp and every dip has turned into a buying opportunity. So yes, I am a little positive for the 12-month period. Right now, you might want to start booking profits, and the stocks that I'm looking at for today for 12 months, GMDC and Apollo Hospitals.
Okay, 20 seconds to go. For the market open, it's only a 1 hour session. PNB Housing Finance was a question to someone who was trading on the floor. And Hiral, my colleague, asked her, what are you going to trade? And she said, I'm going to buy PNB Housing Finance. So it's a Shagun stock in that sense. So we have a whole list of Shagun stocks for you. But let's take a look at how markets are opening in this truncated trading session. this Diwali. All right, I wonder if we can get an amp up on that. They're doing it with the ringing of the bell, which is just lovely. There you go. That's just lovely. It's just so colorful and festive. I mean, India is one of the top 5 markets in the world, and I doubt anyone else looks at just the making of money and trading in equity with this fervor and color. All right, you're not going to see great volumes today because that's really not what the game is about. So 25,900, Nifty sitting pretty above that. I wonder if we can pull up the heat map. Let's show some stocks as well, even as we show these wonderful pictures because it's really bright and colorful there. But pretty much all in the green. Infosys on top of the charts, and even in yesterday's trade, you had IT, which was really ruling the roost, wasn't it, Neeraj? So Infosys there on top of the charts. Tata Motors doing okay. Just a bit of red there with ICICI Bank, Asian Paints, and Bharti.
Yeah, I mean, the volumes on the large caps will be a bit soft. Adani Ports is out there, Tata Motors is out there. Maybe the broader markets might have more movers, and if we can quickly get the NSE 500 winners and losers list out there, the bar chart, just to show what's moving and what's not before we get back to our guests. And Deven Choksi is waiting by. We have to take further questions with Parag Thakkar as well. But Ipca Labs, Nesco, Tata Investments are some of the names which are moving. On the downside, Indigo Paints, MedPlus, Balaji Amines and Seat, which had a big move in yesterday's session, seeing some bit of profit booking. Okay, we'll revisit these rates, but the idea and the question to all our guests, because I know people who are tuning in right now want to know कि आज के दिन कौन सा good auspicious सौदा करना है, right? Every viewer wants to know that. So Deven Choksi is joining in, and that is why we're going to start asking him, and then to Rahul Arora, who is a bit more conservative this time, ask him the same, ask Parag Thakkar the same. But Deven bhai, thanks so much for joining in, and happy Diwali to you and everybody in the DR Choksi family and your family. Deven bhai, are you constructive on the markets currently? Are you wanting to go out and make those fresh purchases today itself?
Hi Neeraj, good afternoon and happy Diwali to all of you as well. It's a lovely feeling, frankly. I think after a good, tough 2025, almost getting over now, I think we are likely to see, I think, a very bright 2026 going forward. Haven't seen this kind of buoyancy in the mood as far as I think the consumption is concerned, and which you alluded by stating the demand kind of situation which is now growing. In my viewpoint, I think we are likely to see a significantly large growth, I think, from the corporates in coming quarters. In fact, I think whenever in the history, the interest rates have come down and inflation has remained subdued. And at the same time, whenever we have managed our current account deficit well, which we are doing currently, in my viewpoint, I think the markets have rewarded significantly even in the near term. The long term, I think, which is something which we want to look at. As I see it, I think the next 10 years are going to be creating some of the very large corporates in the country, something which one has experienced in the Western world, like the Googles and the Microsoft and the Apples of the world. I think something similar is likely to happen in the next 10 years as far as India is concerned. So from a perspective of looking at a very long term, definitely I think the conviction is very high. In the near term, there might be some disappointments, at least for some period, but that is not taking away the larger opportunity that we are probably experiencing. Do not know whether I think on Diwali day you should buy everything at one go, but the fact remains that I think in this market, the opportunity comes and that opportunity should be capitalized. That's what we believe.
Deven bhai, very happy Diwali to you and your family and everyone in your organization as well. I don't think you should buy everything at one go on any day, especially not on Diwali day. But having said that, what are the favorites as far as the new Samvat are concerned? Are you also in the camp that believes banking and financials is the best way to have a proxy play on consumption, on capex, for the growth story, and at every end? And that, the NIM compression, etc., and all of those pain points have bottomed out.
The happy Diwali to you as well, Tamanna. And definitely, I think nobody will buy out everything on the same day, agreed. The point, I think, which we are right now observing, the consumption demand is picking up. And that's where probably, I think, you might want to see the discretionary spending, I think, going in favor of the real estate as well as auto and auto ancillary. So that's no brainer. I guess I think that will continue to probably give the maximum advantage to those who are into this space. The BFSI space, the lending space particularly, I believe that the difference is going to be between those people who have adopted the front end in form of the fintech, and those who are in a position to reach out their customers better, those who are in a position to, I think, write underwriting risk, I think, better, I think are the ones, I think, who are going to be creating a difference among, I think, the entire space where NBFC and some of the corporate banks are operating in the retail finance particularly. I believe, I think the one who has adapted to this technology is going to be the winner in this game. If somebody is growing at 6-7% the loan book, I think some of the smart NBFC companies are growing 3 times faster, and that with the lowest amount of NPA in the books. So in my viewpoint, I think we are likely to see a significantly large opportunity for those companies who are adapting the technology, and I think an underlying business model is driven by the technology. So that's where probably you should be seeing a bigger opportunities as well.
Okay. Naveen bhai, thank you so much for that, and wish you a very happy Diwali once again. Let's hope we all have a much better year with less uncertainty. The tariff issue gets sorted out. Earnings improve. Anyway, you're going to have next quarter's earnings looking good because of the base effect. Second half will look good because of the base effect. And so we're hoping for a much more festive year going ahead. Thank you so much. Now, we're bringing you all of the action, not just from the NDTV Profit Studios, but from the Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange. The National Stock Exchange is where my colleague Alex caught up with market veteran Vijay Kedia on his experience with Muhurat Trading. Listening in.
I'm sure that you've got a lot planned over the course of today and tomorrow, but this is a very significant event. And for years, how many years have you been celebrating Diwali and Lakshmi Puja here?
Countless, not here.
Not here,
but in the market. Oh, maybe 30 Diwalis, more than that.
30 Diwalis. So I was doing a little bit of reading, and 68 years now is when this puja has been happening at the stock exchanges. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is. Yes.
And for you personally, what does this signify?
No, it signifies optimism, I think. It signifies dream and happiness and prosperity.
Okay. Now, when you think about what's lined up ahead of us, we always have optimism, but are you seeing signs to say that optimism is founded in reality this time in particular?
No, it is. You look at the numbers. Let us not go into what I am saying, but look at the data. I read somewhere that कितना 1 लाख गाड़ी बिक गया, something 100,000, and I read somewhere कि 60-65 हजार करोड़ का क्या वो सब दिवाली के गहने वहने बोली है, प्रीसियस मेटल, सोना चांदी सब बिक गए सब. So that's a big numbers, That is what it tells us. Some big is upcoming. Something big is going to happen in India. This is what tells us.
Well, the big thing in India is happening, really. And, guys, I don't know, just the one thing that stands out for me is that don't fight the central banker, right? Ever in life. And you got the central bank in your favor if you're an equities person right now, and which is why I'm kind of willing to take that bet against Rahul Arora on that, but not that we are placing a bet. But Rahul.
We have to take a break.
We have to take a break. Okay, let's take a break first and then we'll come back.
So the big thing after the break is what is going to be as exciting as the big thing happening in India. A lot of conversations, a mini debate on TCB, all of that when we come back.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched.
I hope you're watching NDTV Profit a lot.
Absolutely, you can come to my office and you can see.
Neeraj, Tamanna and the entire Profit team is also working super hard on building a world-class financial news product, and therefore it's good that you're watching, and I hope you can see some churn and improvement as well.
No, absolutely. I think the NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched, and so I'm pretty pleased that what we require for the investor is a correct advice, correct information, and in a right way.
What does Diwali mean for you? Lights, crackers, sweets, parties, family, profit.
Join us this Diwali
as we add more sparkle to your portfolio,
more punch to your balance sheet, and more flavor to your investment.
Because this festival of lights is also a festival of growth.
This Diwali, let's ignite your financial journey together.
Wishing you prosperity, success, and light.
From all of us at NDTV Profit. Because we work for your profit.
The NDTV Profit has come a long ways.
You are the new schools and colleges which people are getting access to education from.
नहीं बढ़िया आपके काम किया आपके तो नाम में ही प्रॉफिट लगा हुआ भाई.
In the world of money and markets, the real currency is clarity.
So you guys have democratized information, and I think first you seeded the market, now the market is seeding you back out there.
Decisive, discerning, distinct. NDTV Profit isn't just business news.
We are like visiting faculty occasionally who come and get a chance to share what we can, but I think it's a great service.
It's the new language of markets, and the voices that move markets know it. Understand markets, decode money through the masters who shape them.
I think we are trying to get knowledge to smaller cities and towns, making it simple for retail investors. I think what you're doing is also contributed to the Indian capital markets and Indian economy.
When leaders speak of markets, they speak to NDTV Profit. Presenting the all-knowing, all-powerful Tech Guru.
Whoa. Guru? I'm no guru.
Back with the Muhurat Trading Day special right here on NDTV Profit in conversation with Rahul Arora, Kush Bora and Parag Thakkar. And Rahul, I want to talk about what is it that you would want to buy? What is it that you want to invest in? You are not very constructive equities, but surely there are opportunities.
Oh, for sure, Neeraj. I think it all depends on the price point and what the valuations are. So I think the recent listing LG looks interesting to me compared to the valuation of, say, a Dixon or a Havells or a Blue Star. So I think LG certainly looks good. I'd still buy one of the alcohol stocks, either UB or UNSP. I'm fairly comfortable with either of them. We were discussing IT a little earlier. I think TCS is all right to have as a portfolio name. I think it definitely could potentially be looked at. I think Hindustan Aeronautics from defense is also an interesting name that comes to mind. I think in banking, Neeraj bhai, I think I would like to stick to HDFC Bank and SBI. SBI has been one of my favorites for almost 2 years now, and I would still want to stick with it. I think HDFC Bank and SBI would probably be two names that I would recommend. Maybe on correction, something like a Havells would look interesting to me. Not at the current price, but maybe something on corrections.
But sorry, that's a buffet, right? Of a lot of large cap names. Nothing small size, a small size bank, for example, a DCB, let's say.
DCB for sure, Neeraj. I think the point I was trying to make was it's had a good run. I think if you see, a lot of brokers have their targets between 170, 180. And I think for a bank which has a 14.5%, 15% ROE, a very strong ROA profile. In fact, in the numbers, the net interest margins actually sequentially expanded, which was, something that you're not seen with a lot of banks. So I think I was just talking to Parag bhai during the break, and he was telling me that he also sees about a 20% kind of upside. So like there are a lot of large cap banks that have a 20% upside on them. So that's the question. So large versus mid, I still think DCB is a great stock to be holding. But like I said, I think if the call is say between an SBI 20% and a DCB 20-25%, I'll become more comfortable buying an SBI. That's just a simple way.
So that I completely agree. If large cap is giving me 20%, then why should I buy small cap?
So, but are you buying a DCB or are you buying an SBI?
DCB on that day itself we discussed on Friday, whatever was the last trading day, and I was very constructive after the results. And so the only thing which I had a different view than Rahul is that historical averages, sometimes need to be seen that how the future looks like, right? So DCB, I feel that from this result, as he rightly said, that NIM expanded QOQ when you had a repo rate cut impact. And the way they are squeezed in, the way they are running the tight ship, as explained by the CEO on the call, And I have not met them. I have just heard the call. And from there only I derived this bullishness that, the operating leverage is there. He is running a tight ship. Stock is completely on that day it was trading at 0.6 time and PE of 5.5. So from the way it looks like, and the credit cost was just 31 bips for this quarter.
But
so that made me bullish. Of course, I am also not going to buy today after such a big move. From that day we discussed, today it is up 18% from that day to today.
No. So a lot of these maybe still have a bit more of a move to go. Meanwhile, my colleague Hiral caught up with the managing director at Bombay Stock Exchange, Sundaraman Ramamurthy. Here's that exclusive conversation.
Mr. Ramamurthy, firstly, wishing you and everyone at BSE a happy Diwali. Your wishes to all the investors and viewers.
Thanks for this. Wish all the viewers, everybody in the country and everywhere in the world, whoever Indians are there who are celebrating Diwali, very, very happy Diwali wishes. And I'm sure this year is going to be another great year and another good year for the country.
One thing I want to ask you is, since the time you've come as well, you're there at BSE, how have things changed when it comes to Muhurat trading? Because initially this was a ring. Sauda used to be manually, orally, 10 share lenge, 20 share lenge. It's transition. Now you have systems which are in place. That's where the hue and cry happens. What is it in terms of tradition that has changed according to you?
See, traditions, by the very word, tradition should not change. With every Diwali, there will be a Lakshmi Puja, there will be happiness, there will be a Utsah everywhere. That doesn't change. The way of trading may change. The scripts they trade may change. The market numbers may change. Tradition is so entrenched in all of us. Every Diwali, we celebrate with sweets, patake, and of course today, because of ESG consciousness, we don't use crackers, but still in our mind, hamesha patake putte hain when we feel all great things happening.
Absolutely. आज भी फटाके फूट रहे थे, ऐसे ही लग रहा था कि मार्केट ऊपर है. But with this, when you talk about the colors, the auspiciousness of Muhurat trading, what does it actually signify? Because initially it used to be called Chopra Pujan. So according to you, what is the reason why this is done, and what's the relevance or the importance of that first Sauda?
See, there are a lot of great relevances. In a half a minute or 1 minute, this cannot be talked. Right from the why Diwali, what are all the associated things with it. For every one of our actions, there is a deep inner meaning behind it. In a simple way, if we have to put it, it is a question of making all, whatever stock of things that we had, getting renewed, and new great things and new sense of happiness getting ushered in.
My last question to you, your message to all the new investors, the Gen Z investors, because the way trading was done, it was always investments as well. What would your message be to Gen Z investors?
My message remains the same old one. Understand what you trade. Trade only what you understand. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the MD of the Bombay Stock Exchange talking to us about what Muhurat trading means for him and what we're seeing going forward. But let's have a little bit of a fun time. Diwali is all about, among other things, sweets, some indulgence. And everyone has their favorite sweet and not so favorite sweet. There's some that get palmed off from family to family, and there's some which is, top of the line. So from the ever reliable Kaju Katli to the endlessly recycled Son Papdi, which stock resembles which mithai? Samvat Sarkar is joining us for that. Samvat, first of all, your thought process of how you put together this list and the reasoning and the assigning of a mithai to a stock.
So we have listed down the four most common sweets that are used in Diwali. It's Kaju Katli, Rasgulla, Jalebi and Son Papdi. And now we are trying to relate these sweets with the stocks that are the most relatable. Now firstly, when it comes to Kaju Katli, it is one of the most liked sweet by everyone and one of the most reliable sweet that we have seen for every occasion. And two stocks that I could relate to this is HDFC Bank and Pidilite. Now why these two stocks? Because these are the only two stocks in the entire universe of listed companies, that is more than 6,000 companies, that have given positive returns for every calendar year for the last 11 years that we have seen. Only two stocks, HDFC Bank and Pidilite, right from 2015 till 2025 right now, they have given positive returns on every calendar year. As you can see, from 2016 to 2020, returns for HDFC Bank have been anywhere between 12 to 55%, for Pidilite anywhere between 7 to 53%, and from 2021 to 2025 till now, for HDFC Bank returns have been anywhere between 3 to 13% and for Pidilite anywhere between 4 to 39%. So these two stocks have given positive returns and hence both these counters are Kaju Katli of our Diwali today. When it comes to Rasgulla, now it's full of sweet syrup and yields sweetness till the very large drop. Something very similar to stocks that have given high dividend yields to investors for many years. And two stocks that are relatable here are Vedanta and Coal India. And these are the two highest dividend yielding stocks among large caps for investors and have been the same for many years. For Vedanta, if you look at the dividend yield on an average has been around 9.2%. And for Coal India, the dividend yield among large cap has been around 6.9%. Now when it comes to Jalebi, it's sweet but twisted. And the stock that we are relating here is Star Health, and this is purely based on the share price move of Star Health. And this is the only stock among the large cap that has given actually zero returns from last Samvat till now. Now there have been ups and downs, there have been twists and turns. From low price, whoever has bought Star Health might have seen higher returns. But over the last 1 year, the stock has given zero returns. The high price for Star Health has been 521. The low price in the last 1 year has been 330. Current market price is 493. And the 12-month consensus target price is 483. So a lot of twists and turns that Star Health has seen and at the end has given zero returns. And lastly, the most common Son Papdi. Now this is a sweet which is passed on or recycled most every Diwali. And one of the stock that we relate to this is Gravita India because that is the only large cap stock among the recycling business. Again, in the large cap space, that's the only stock. It's engaged in recycling lead, aluminium and plastics. 7 analysts cover this counter. All of them have a buy rating on Gravita India. The 12-month target price stands at close to 2,398 rupees, close to 2,400, which suggests a return potential of nearly 54% from the current levels.
Okay, we are in splits here in the studio, but that's just amazing, Samvat. We're going to come back and ask everyone what their favorite mithai and stock is, but Ashish Kumar Chauhan with us and he's speaking with Alex.
Yeah, well, what a fantastic conversation that was about comparing stocks with sweets. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, as you said, joining us. Ashish Kumarji, from all of us at NDTV Profit, wish you a very, very happy Diwali. What does this festival mean for you? You've been associated with the stock markets for so long. You've seen physical trading as well. What does it mean for you?
No, it's basically this is the biggest festival or biggest day for all stock market participants. Many people don't know that the Diwali is sort of the last day of a Vikram Samvat. The next day is the New Year, and so most of the people who follow Vikram Samvat they close their books today and open a new book, and that's why it's called Muhurat Ka Sauda, because what you trade today is settled next year, and that's why all people who are from western region of India who follow what we call Vikram Samvat, and so the new year is tomorrow. And in a way, today is also Diwali, where Bhagwan Ram came back to Ayodhya, but it's also the day when Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth, was also born today. So it's many things, but the stock markets for many years, the symbol of the stock market in India was Mahalakshmi.
Yes.
And that's where too many things happened. Even NSE on November 3, 1994 started on Diwali day.
Yes.
And that's why so many mixed feelings continue in all our minds. Many people say that you need to give holiday, but this is the day we worship Lakshmi, and what better than doing it at NSE?
Yeah, what better, right? And a lot of people know this about you, but I'm still going to inform those that don't. You actually told my colleague when she interviewed you that if you hadn't been in the stock markets, you might just have been a monk. I saw the puja earlier. I was in the back, and you were very familiar with everything that was going on. In fact, you were speaking along with the Panditji. This tradition, of course, is something that you bring to the table every year. What specifically stood out in the many Diwalis that have gone past? Is there one that you remember fondly?
No, November 3, 1994 was the first show for NSE, and we were not in this building. We were in Mahindra Towers at Worli in Mumbai, and we had kept. We did not have the satellite telecom installed. We had just started on that day itself, but we had kept 100 brokers to trade from the offices of NSE.
Yeah.
We had kept 100 computers, and all of them came. Some of them tried to place orders. It was the first day, and one of them made a mistake.
Oh God!
And he lost like 3-4 lakhs of those days it would have been like today's probably 4 or 5 crores in one single trade. And then he came rushing down to my office saying, now you need to save me, cancel the trades. And so there are many such stories of our lives which are more, we are the administrative people, we don't make money, neither we lose money. But we try to provide the services and that it continues uninterrupted for the markets, and that's what the entire occasion is all about.
Yeah, what a story, thinking back to something that has happened over 30 years back. But when you look at how things are right now in October of 2025 and 5 years after COVID-19, did you anticipate the kind of explosion in participation that you've seen in the stock markets? And where do you see things going in the next year, 2 years, 5 years? You see the crores of individuals that are currently trading. What are the volumes that you anticipate?
In a way, when we went into COVID, we had probably 30 million unique investors, 3 crore. Today we have 12 crore unique investors, 23.5 crore accounts at NSE. So it's like 4 times in last 5 years. It was not expected. The video KYC is what created this explosion of interest, and also allowing people to come into the markets easily. Due to the COVID, when we couldn't do physical KYC, but it was allowed on video. I think that is the change that happened. And of course, the mobile, ubiquitous mobile in everyone's hands. So broadly speaking, for me, the story of last 11 years after Mr. Modi took over is about India becoming more middle class.
Right.
And so when Mr. Modi took over, there were 1.6 crore unique investors. Today, 12 crore unique investors. 3 crore women, 9 crore males, 9 crore households. 1/4 of India, that is 25% of India now, invest through NSE, which is a very large number even from the world standards. And today we have investors in all pin code, 19,400 odd pin codes, except 28 pin codes in the country. Literally, I have people in Ladakh who are investing as of now we are talking. I have people in Andaman Nicobar as of now trading. I have people in Dwarka on the west side, and I have people in Arunachal Pradesh trading. Everywhere you go, you see NSE on your screen, on your mobile, right? And so NSE and Nifty are there as a part of your life every day, every moment.
Yeah, so fantastic. And it's only going higher. Let's end with a quick rapid fire, okay? Where do you see the Nifty 50 in 5 years?
No, I think in some ways I don't trade nor...
Of course,
but for me, I have seen Nifty, when I started Nifty in 95, the base of 1,000, November 3, 95. 1 year after NSE started. Today it's 25,000, 26,000.
Yeah.
In 30 years, it has given 26 times returns, but also the dividends.
Yes.
It would be 30,000. So effectively, every 5 years, it has doubled, right?
Yeah.
And that's what many people try to predict. The Nifty will be this, that, but their ambitions are too low, right? India is going to grow. Nifty is going to grow going forward.
So 2 more questions. One, what is your favorite Diwali sweet?
I like Kaju Katli, but I like every sweet. So that's why I'm diabetic.
Okay, I'm glad. Okay. And one last question. Advice to a trader on Diwali heading into new Samvat.
Be investors to the extent possible. Don't be traders. Buying in the morning and selling in the afternoon. Unless you are expert, don't try to do it. You have other work. If you don't know how to sort of study all these things, try to go through mutual funds or a portfolio manager or a financial advisor. Like you don't try to do sort of medicine yourselves. If you have, you don't try to do this yourself if you are not an expert.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, and wish you a very happy Diwali from all of us.
Happy New Year.
And with that, it's back to you in the studio.
All right, fantastic conversation with Ashish Chauhan. Now, before we get to Gautam Shah, founder Goldilocks Global Research, and Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, welcome to both of you. We have to address the wonderful piece that Samvat Sarkar did before we got to that interview, which is equating mithai with stocks. And there are 4 categories. Quick recap, and we'll get those graphics up. The mithai we have chosen to equate with stocks, and why. There's Kaju Katli, there is Rasgulla, Jalebi, and Son Papdi, each with its characteristics. But when that report was being done by Samvat, you couldn't stop laughing. Tell me, which is your category of each? Your Kaju Katli, your Son Papdi, your Jalebi, and your Rasgulla.
So I would so basically I will agree with Kaju Katli apart significantly, HDFC Bank and Pidilite, and I feel that they might be the Kaju Katris of next year also. So HDFC Bank is, in my view, is at inflection point very clearly. If one has a 18-month view, of course. The only negative is a possible rate cut by RBI in December, which also looks like likely. But otherwise, I think all the, I would say, the positive jaws are opening for the bank. See, one way to look at it is, this is a bank which has a depressed margin. So margin is at the bottom and growth is also at the bottom. So both will come back very strongly next year, in my view. Because now, most importantly, they have opened 3,000 branches in last 3 years.
Right.
All these will go and come and break even in next year, while now they are opening only 400, 500 branches. So operating leverage will kick in, and I think the earning growth will be 14-15%, PE of only 15x. So Rahul was referring to that PEG. You know, the PEG is 1x for HDFC Bank. Price to book is say price to book is 2.2. ROI is reaching 2%. So I would say that is a kind of stock which I would. So, and the other thing which I would like to say is that the only thing which is pending in the market is FII re-entry, right? Domestics have bought.
So when they come to HDFC
Bank, Reliance,
very
Infosys.
quickly, or Son Papdi.
No, I'll add one to the list. I'll add a Mysore Pak. Mixture of very delicious items not easily available, right? Look at Azad Engineering. There's a lot of things not often discussed, but I think this has a long way to go. So I think I'll add one to the list, which is Mysore Pak as Azad Engineering.
Mysore Pak, okay, not the first pick on Diwali at least.
Correct.
Or maybe.
Correct.
Okay, Gautam Shah, very happy Diwali to you. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, very happy Diwali to you. Gautam, of course, we want to know where you think the markets will be and the index will be next Samvat. But just taking forward from our mithai banter, first of all, what is your favorite Diwali mithai and what is your favorite Diwali mithai stock?
Hi, good afternoon. Very happy Diwali to all the viewers at NDTV and to the entire team. Thank you so much for having me today. Well, talking about mithai, I think I would just go a little off Indian sweets. I would go with a tiramisu. I know it might seem a little new age, but that's what I would like to go with. Talking about markets and talking about what markets have done off late, I think we are coming from a period of no return. And because we've had no return and with the government having done so much in the last 1 year, I think you have a perfect environment for the Indian markets to come back and end this underperformance that we've had for the last 1 year. So I'm actually very encouraged from this Diwali to next Diwali. I do believe that domestic liquidity will once again deliver. People should continue to participate. I know there is a lot of confusion in the minds of people, but I think quality once again will be rewarded. And if you are in the right themes, maybe not in the index, but in the mid caps and small caps, there is still serious money to be made.
Gautam, happy Diwali to you, Neeraj here. And I wonder if you believe equities can outperform gold, or do you think gold will still take center stage after the mammoth run that we've seen?
Neeraj, we spoke last Diwali around the same time, and I think our call was very clear that gold and silver will outperform equities, a call that has really worked very well for us. We are now completely changing our stance, and we believe that these are good times to convert paper profits in gold and silver into real profits. So aggressive profit booking should be done in gold and silver, and I think equities will make a very strong comeback. Not just India, but world over. We have seen world equities do very well over the last 1.5 years. I think India has the room to come back. And since you all like numbers, I think if you have to take a 12 to 18 month view, my working target of the Nifty is about 28,400. So I think the time has come to get back to Indian equities and give more importance to it.
I wonder what stock is tiramisu. Gautam, is there any one that you're liking to it, or is that just your current favorite? Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, I wish you a very happy Diwali. Just what is the outlook from here? Because a bit of debate since we've started this conversation this afternoon as well, and one point of view coming in that there is more pain ahead in the next 6 to 12 months. The other point of view saying that the worst is probably over. I wonder what you think.
Well, I wish all of you a very, very happy New Year, happy Diwali and New Year. Same for all the viewers. I think my view is that we have seen the worst of the pain. I think things are going to improve from here on. It's on the basis of the fact that domestic macros, domestic factors do really look good. In fact, there was one challenge which we all were grappling with is corporate results. And I think, Q2 results have been, to my mind, at least a positive surprise, mostly. And I think that's very, very encouraging because by and large, all of us agree that Q3, Q4 will be much much better. So even Q2 has been better than what we were expecting. So that's a good news. The only challenge had been the global news flow as well as the US-India trade tensions. Now, there is a strong view that some kind of solution is probably emerging on India-US trade issue. And if that does happen, as the Commerce Minister has been talking about by fall, I think that will be fantastic news for Indian equities as well. While we may agree or disagree, but to an extent, I think FIIs have been holding back and not coming into India because of the trade tension between India and US. At some level, this must be affecting their decision. Beyond a whole lot of other factors. Now, if India-US trade, there is some kind of understanding, some kind of settlement reached, and things become to an extent normal, I think FII's flow also to a great extent will be back. Valuations after the time correction have become to an extent reasonable. I won't say they are cheap, but they are reasonable. And if you compare them with some of the other Southeast Asian economies, they are still not cheap, but they are reasonable considering the growth potential of Indian stocks. Selective stock picking should be the trick.
Right.
And definitely equity will deliver better return than most other classes of assets.
Well, that's good to know. So both Sudeep and Gautam are on the same path. Gautam, before we thank you, would love to know, I mean, not essentially as stock picks, but the flavor of 2 or 3 things which could fit the tiramisu bill that you might be thinking can give good returns. It could be a sectoral theme, it could be specific pockets within that sector, whatever you're comfortable with.
The market has lived with surprises in the last 5 years. I mean, if a year back, if somebody asked you that, do you think that gold and silver is going to be the best performer among all asset classes? Not many would have thought of it based on common sense. That's been the beauty of markets over the last 5 years. I think between this Diwali and next Diwali, metals and PSU banks, for me, is going to be the flavor. I think metal stocks are setting up for a very large mega trend. I already see beautiful signs of it. Technically, fundamentally, I think things are picking up as well. Valuations are comfortable. Smart money action seems to be improving. And I think with what PSU banks have done in the last 1 month, I think that's, according to me, a mega trend that should play out over the next 6 to 12 months. Valuations very comfortable. Governments doing all the right things, talking all the right things, charts in great space. So if I have to pick 2 sectors, it would be these 2.
What is the Nifty looking like by next Diwali?
See, as I said last year as well, it's not about the Nifty anymore. I think we are still one of the more expensive markets in the world. I think if we can do a 10-12% from here, I think that's doable. So if I have to put a number, I would say 27,500. I think there's a high probability that we get close to 27,500 by next Diwali. But that's nothing great in percentage terms. It's about mid caps and small caps where serious domestic money is flowing in.
Okay, and what about HDFC? Let's get it up because everyone's been talking about HDFC Bank. You talked about metals, you talked about banks. Let's get an HDFC target.
Well, I don't want to speak about a specific stock and a specific number. I do believe that these are stocks where most of the positives are priced in and they're not going to do anything special. I would go with the top PSU bank. I think the top PSU bank will beat every other bank in the market over the next 1 year.
So that's quite interesting. Thank you so much, Gautam and Sudeep, for joining us today. And wish you all a very happy Diwali to the entire team here.
The only thing is, Gautam, you can go, but Sudeep, if you are there, we haven't quite gotten your Muhurat bet. If you can give our viewers one Muhurat idea that they can bet on. Sudeep.
Well, Neeraj, I think, I'll give you a little offbeat idea. Bharti Airtel is what I like. I think, one more rate hike is on the cards very soon. Reliance Jio is getting into an IPO mode, and I think the industry will take one more hike, which definitely will help Bharti Airtel in a big way. International operations have been doing pretty well. And most interestingly, Vodafone Idea's application at Supreme Court for AGR due reduction or waiver is at a stage where there is expectation which is building up that some relief will come. Now, if the relief comes to Vodafone Idea, automatically Bharti Airtel also will get a significant relief. So considering all this, I'm recommending Bharti Airtel for a buy with a target of 2,500.
Thank you so much and have a fabulous New Year celebration and a great Samvat ahead. Thank you for taking the time out and giving us your thoughts. Okay, from gold to global indices, what's shown and what slumped this Samvat? Sharad Johnson with the full Diwali to Diwali wrap across commodities and global markets. Sharad, it's easy. Gold would be shining bright.
Well, yes, Neeraj, gold is, of course, the star performer, followed closely by silver as well. But let's look at how the overall performance has been coming up. Gold, look at it, 52% returns coming in current prices, upwards of almost $4,200. Silver also close second, 51%. But Brent crude over here, this is an asset class also which you are tracking. That's roughly down 15% as well if you look at the commodity segment. Aluminium, copper, volatility in these counters, but not as so much as the precious metal counterparts. Currently, it's almost 5% of aluminium on the LME prices. And interestingly, coffee, this is the stock or we could say the asset class which I have picked. That is 62%. That means your morning coffees have actually increased their prices. And that's insane. Also, let's look at the benchmarks, how the performance has been there. And of course, there is a very important data which I'll be sharing with you. It's almost 11% dollar returns when it comes to Dow Jones, S&P 500. This number is 16%. And Euro stocks, that's interestingly 23% up. Let's look at the Asian counterparts where we stand. Kospi, almost 37% up. Hang Seng, ALS and Nikkei also going up 23 to 25%. But Nifty India Index, the most important data to look at is this data has actually turned positive when it comes to the dollar terms. So of course we will update that as well. But why there has been an underperformance, Samvat to Samvat, let's actually talk on that. Firstly, the more fall has been seen due to the rupee depreciation coming in, and as our FIs, most of the money has moved to US and Asian FIs. Taiwan and China have seen a significant flows coming in. Valuations were on the higher side. There is a moderation coming in, and also the earnings, especially the first half of FY26, we saw a moderation coming in. But going ahead, will India bounce back? And that is something which is very important for this Samvat. H2 is likely to have a stronger earnings amid tax cut announcements. That means we can see more upgrades happening from the analyst community as well. And lastly, FI short covering, that has also picked up. And right now, Neeraj was mentioning, now it's coming in the short ratio has come to almost 83% odd mark. So a strong performance expected with India against its global counterparts going ahead.
Okay, Sharad, thanks so much for putting light on that. We need to slip into a very quick break. Back with conversations with Parag Thakkar and Kush Bora. Stay tuned, viewers.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched.
I hope you're watching NDTV Profit a lot.
Absolutely, you can come to my office and you can see.
Neeraj, Tamanna and the entire Profit team is also working super hard on building a world-class financial news product. And therefore, it's good that you're watching, and I hope you can see some churn and improvement as well.
No, absolutely. I think the NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched. And so I'm pretty pleased that what we require for the investor is a correct advice, correct information, and in a right way.
What does Diwali mean for you? Lights, crackers, sweets, parties, family, profit.
Join us this Diwali
as we add more sparkle to your portfolio,
more punch to your balance sheet, and more flavor to your investment.
Because this festival of lights is also a festival of growth.
This Diwali, let's ignite your financial journey together.
Wishing you prosperity,
success, and light.
From all of us at NDTV Profit. Because we work for your profit.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched.
I hope you're watching NDTV Profit a lot.
Absolutely, you can come to my office and you can see.
Neeraj, Tamanna and the entire Profit team is also working super hard on building a world-class financial news product. And therefore, it's good that you're watching, and I hope you can see some churn and improvement as well.
No, absolutely. I think the NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched. And so I'm pretty pleased that what we require for the investor is a correct advice, correct information, and in a right way. The NDTV Profit has come a long way.
You are the new schools and colleges which people are getting access to education from.
ने बढ़िया आपके काम किया, आपके तो नाम में ही प्रॉफिट लगा हुआ भाई.
In the world of money and markets, the real currency is clarity.
So you guys have democratized information, and I think first you seeded the market, now the market is seeding you.
All right, you're watching the Diwali Muhurat Trading special session coverage right here on NDTV Profit, and markets are in a good mood but sleepy, completely flat. The Nifty has given up most of its gains since we started trade just about less than an hour ago, and you have about 15 minutes odd of live trade remaining. So it's come off, but nothing dramatic either way is expected to happen today. That's not what the session is about. It's more significant and to mark the start of the new year. Having said that, it's also a time when a lot of brokerage houses come out with their recommendations, and what we've tried to do is we've tried to filter it for you and give you top of the charts in that sense. So one stock which is common among most brokerages as their top recommendation for the next year, some of those are HDFC Bank, SBI Securities, ICICI Direct and BNK. All of these have gone ahead and recommended HDFC Bank as their top pick. Now, SBI Securities' top pick is Oswal Pumps. The reason is they expected to benefit significantly from a rising trend in industrial capital expenditure. BNK's top pick is Aurobindo Pharma. These are all research houses and what their recommendations are. They like Aurobindo Pharma because of inexpensive valuations and a focus more on complex assets. For Kotak Securities, their top pick is Adani Ports because they anticipate strong volume growth in 2/3 of the port portfolio. For Centrum, the top pick is Azad Engineering because of a strong order book, and that has underpinned their outlook. HDFC Securities' top pick is Northern Arc, strong asset quality and expected ROA expansion driven by D2C lending and improved macro indicators. For Axis Securities, it's Rainbow Children. It's actually a hospital chain. Robust pipeline, asset-light, hub-and-spoke model, debt-free balance sheet. Ventura's top pick is Transformer and Rectifiers, capitalizing on India's power growth story. ICICI Direct has picked Keynes Tech because they say the business is poised for an aggressive 48.1% revenue CAGR over FY 25-28. I thought interesting, eclectic list of names. Your Mysore Pak was also there, Kush, in those names. Azad Engineering made the cut, but HDFC Bank is unilaterally the top pick. My question is that, is it because it's an easy and safe choice?
No,
is it really going to give that much of a return, or is it going to be a safe choice?
No, so risk-adjusted return, I would say. So, see, if you want to have a, so right now, as I think last time we discussed this, that, see, domestic mutual funds have bought, right? They got inflows, they have bought. So, mid caps and small caps generally, apart from few stocks which we discuss here under DCB and City Unions of the world, the mid caps and small caps are almost there. The FIs have been selling large caps in last 3 years, right? Since Fed started increasing interest rates and dollar index went 210 and all that. So now that thing will come back, right? If they see earning growth in India, if they see rate cuts in US, definitely that money will flow in. So that last leg, big leg of rally can happen in large caps. And so I would like to bet that high nifty weight stocks, which are looking undervalued also, are the best way to play this market from here on. Whether it is HDFC Bank, whether it is Reliance, whether it is, whatever, for example, in IT, it can be, Infosys of the world, the L&T, for example, very good name. which can, if they outperform market expectation in terms of their earnings, then they can give you very good returns. That is my fundamental thought process from here on.
Okay. Okay. Well, Kush Bora, Parag Thakkar, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. Really appreciate your time, and to you and yours a very happy Diwali and a great New Year ahead.
Thanks.
Wish you the same.
Thank you so much. Okay. Well, more conversations. My colleague Puneet caught up with Kishore Bang, the MD and promoter of Nirmal Bang Securities at the Lower Parel office. Listen in to his advice to retail investors this Samvat.
हम हमेशा कहते हैं कि मार्केट्स का क्या लगता है, आपको क्या लगता है सर, आप क्या एडवाइस करेंगे इन्वेस्टर्स को कि मार्केट ने कैसा परफॉर्म किया और आगे भी इन्वेस्टर रहने के लिए आप क्या कहेंगे?
See, one should always see the market with a long-term perspective, and with the long-term perspective, I think the market looks good only. Indian economy, the dynamics of the Indian economy, the growth and everything. So all the retail investors should always remain invested with a long-term perspective.
Sir, we always look at long-term perspective. तो आपने सही कहा. You also mentioned that you should always stay invested as well. What do you think of we have seen so many number of IPOs coming in so many new sectors. What would you suggest investors to look in terms of the IPOs as well as how should they invest now as well?
See, there is too much liquidity in the domestic system also, domestic market also. More and more investors are coming and participating in the capital market by way of mutual funds also and direct also. So, and this is part and parcel of every bull run. So, I will say bull run because, as I said just now, the dynamics of the Indian economy is such that the market looks good only. The last 1 year, the index was range bound, but otherwise, the scenario is bullish, and in such scenario, the fund flows into the system, and there is a pipeline of IPOs also which gets oversubscribed, which you can see each and every IPO, even the issue like LG got such a huge response. Yeah, so the funds will always flow into the system directly as well as indirectly through mutual funds.
Oh, fantastic. You know, this is such a rare interview. I don't know the last time Mr. Kishore Bang has spoken.
I've never spoken.
Never on any business channel or anywhere really. So, great catch by our colleague Puneet there and getting that interview in. We're all about the big voices here. We're all about the advice and what your next year should look like in terms of your investments. Dilip Bhatt, founder of Pedigree Advisory, joining us today. Abhay Agarwal, managing director at Piper Serica, with us, as is Shivangi Sarda, analyst at MOFSL. Welcome to all of you. Wish you all a very, very happy Diwali and a prosperous new year. Mr. Bhatt, let me begin with you about what is the outlook for the new Samvat and where do you think there will be action and wealth to make?
Well, let me at the outset wish you, your team, Neeraj, everyone a very happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year, and same to your viewers also. Coming back to what I think I'm definitely in the majority camp where we think that the markets are bound to be much better than what they were last year. I think it's given that markets are scaling a new top. But at the same time, I think this is the time when you should become much more stock specific rather than look at the index and look on a macro basis. Because I think a stock selection and a stock specific approach is something which is what is going to pay off in a big way in the long run, especially in the coming times.
Okay, and Dilip bhai, with that view being there and you are in the majority camp, where is it that you believe the best gains can be made? Could it be in what the central bank is backing and therefore look at BFSI, or would you look at some other pockets of strength for the next 12 to 18 months?
Surely, I think I would think that something like an SBI would still look pretty good and pretty interesting. In fact, the other PSU banks are also looking pretty good, but better to be with the leader, especially at the start of a good bull run in this particular space. So I would look at SBI. Otherwise, I think in the bigger names, I would still go by Larsen & Toubro, which has not done much over the last couple of years. But going forward, I think all the parameters, metrics, they're all falling in place in terms of the growth, in terms of the ROC, in terms of free cash flow. I think they're all doing all the right things, and possibly now it's time for it to get re-rated. So Larsen & Toubro is another one. And I think the third one is a little outlier is Swiggy. Looking at the way Zomato is going up and looking at Swiggy's business and the Instamart that they have, if you were to combine both the things and the kind of cash that they have in the books, I think Swiggy looks very promising from here on for maybe next 12 to 15 months.
Well, Abhay Agarwal is with us as well. Abhay, thank you so much for talking to us today. And you've been spot on, Abhay, with a number of themes. But the central theme for this Samvat seems to be don't fight the central banker. And when the RBI under Sanjay Malhotra ji is behind equity holders, right? The tailwind is behind them. Why fight that? Why not embrace it? Are lenders the first resort for the next Samvat?
Yes, happy Diwali, Neeraj, first of all, and absolute pleasure to be, on the show on this amazing day, auspicious day. So wishing everybody a great Diwali. No, I think you said it, and if you look at empirical data also, I won't bore with the stats, but whenever we have had a year, Neeraj, that the domestic consumption has picked up cyclically, and which leads to the MSMEs and SMEs getting a lot of liquidity after struggling for a couple of years, which is what has happened. If you look at the last 2 or 3 Diwalis, the sale is not, or consumption has not been as good as expected. So what happened is that there was leftover inventory which had to be discounted, and the MSMEs, SMEs were struggling for liquidity. This Diwali, after a long period, the sales have been very robust, and I think the government timed it right with the GST rate cuts. So with that liquidity coming in, I think two things are going to happen. One, the MSMEs, SMEs are not typical savers. They like to consume. So you can expect a further pickup in domestic consumption. And at the same time, you can expect better collection efficiency by the banks and NBFCs that lend to this segment. Because the collection efficiency, because of their pure liquidity, was classified as NPA when it was not really NPA. I think the intention to pay was there, but the liquidity was not there. So I think this cycle that we are in this current quarter, is going to fix a lot of that. And when you see the current quarter numbers in January, February from banks, small banks, financial lenders of all kinds, especially the ones that lend to bottom of the pyramid, mid of the pyramid, I think the numbers will look remarkably better than what the markets are expecting. So our bet is that, that is how is going to play out for these lenders.
Okay, Abhay, stay with us. We want to get a better idea of what are your top bets for next year. Shivangi, stay with us. We're just a few minutes left for this special session to close, and Sumit Sarkar is joining us with what the top Shagun stocks should be. If you don't make it in today's trade, of course, you always have Thursday to also buy.
Well, these are the stocks that are expected to give the highest return over the next 1 year based on the consensus target price. We have given you the top 10 stocks that have the highest return potential: HG Infra, Crompton Greaves, Somani, Birla Corp, Greenply. Return potential anywhere between 32 to 60% over the next 1 year. Apart from that, the other stocks that are featured on this list is InfoEdge, Aptus Value, PNC Infra, Orient Electric and DCB Bank, which have a return potential of 28 to 31%. DCB Bank, even after the stereo rally, could give a 28% return as per the consensus target price for the next 1 year. So keep an eye out for these 10 stocks.
Okay, that was really rapid fire. Shivangi, just as we get into the close, I think we have a couple of minutes for the close, but this is all symbolic more than anything else. We've been asking what the Nifty is looking like by next Diwali. What is the number that you have in mind?
Firstly, wishing you and the entire NDTV Profit team and all our viewers a very prosperous and sparkling Diwali. And thank you, Neeraj and Tamanna, for having me. So we've seen that, Nifty has been seeing fireworks onto the Lal Street from the last week. And we are actually nearing 26,000. But for the next 1 year, if we talk about Diwali, say Diwali tak, we're expecting, 27,300 odd levels for the index, with all the indices and all the sectoral fronts looking quite positive for the next coming year.
Okay. 28 seconds to go for the markets to close. Let's just quickly go through what is happening and, pull up the Nifty over there. It's come off. Everything has come off. The Bank Nifty, Nifty IT, all of it has come off. And, remember that it's not like people are actively selling or anything, but you are going to see that spike right at the top. You always see that in the Diwali Muhurat trading session where the market opens with a bit of a spike because everyone wants to put in their first trade and then maybe go off to the rest of their Diwali celebration. That's where the interest comes off. Having said that, you still have an Axis Bank doing pretty okay, ICICI Bank leading to some of the pressure. IT stocks have come off the most. Bank Nifty about 0.5% down, so some pain point there. In terms of the broader markets, completely flat. So nothing too much to worry about, but in most cases you do have a positive closing on Muhurat trading. That's clearly not happening over here. And there you have it. This is how the heat map is pairing off on close of this Diwali Muhurat trading session for Samvat 2082. Sipla, top of the charts. Bajaj, Finserv, Infosys leading the pack. The banks are cooling off. Kotak Mahindra Bank and ICICI Bank there on the losing side. Just the quick gainers and losers on the BSE 500 before we just wrap up that market trade. Tata Investments. I mean, this whole thing about whether Tata Sons will list, not list, what's happening on the Tata Trust Board, that's possibly what's moving the Tata investment stock and has been for quite some time. If you do have a listing, there's going to be a huge benefit coming in to this company. Muthoot Finance, with gold prices going through the roof, maybe Muthoot Finance feeling some of that heat and they're lower down, but Indigo Paint, Sterlite also coming off. Not majorly. This is, Neeraj, as typically is a low volume kind of a market. I mean, people come in just to make that one trade and perhaps go back to the rest of their celebrations.
Yeah, and therefore the prices, I mean, it's fine to see these prices, but I think the best part of trade comes in on Thursday. So we'll try and talk about that come Thursday as well. But decent day of trade for the small caps and the mid caps. And Abhay, that's the question here on. I mean, would the thesis be that because FIs are coming, large caps do well and therefore look at large cap banks, so on and so forth? Or would there be better winners at the broader end of the spectrum?
I think there will be winners in both the spectrum. I think that's the good thing, that there are not going to be any losers in the BFSI sector. It's just that which one will do better than the other. So the liquidity, the large institutional liquidity will obviously first go into the large banks because they can absorb that liquidity. A lot of ETF money that is indexed to the Nifty as an ETF will go into large banks. But at the same time, I think the valuation of the smaller banks and smaller NBFCs that has got beaten down over last couple of years. A lot of them profitable banks growing are trading at 1 to 1.5 time book value right now compared to which is almost half or less than half of their large peers. So I think once the numbers kick in terms of better collection efficiency, lower NPAs, higher NIMs, and general overall growth of the book, I think there will be a segment of the market that will look at these smaller banks, and some of them are also aspiring to become universal banks. So I think that transition with a 2-year perspective would be more profitable to back rather than the large banks is what we are expecting, Neeraj.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Abhay, for making the time for us on Diwali Day. We truly appreciate it. Shivangi, thank you so much. Mr. Dilip Bhatt, thank you so much for speaking with us today and joining us today on this Diwali Muhurat Trading Special. We are now going across to Mr. Anand Rathi, Chairman of the Anand Rathi Group. Sir, wish you a very, very happy Diwali from all of us here at the NDTV family, to you and your office and your family as well. Just want to start with what your message is for the next Samvat, considering that we've been through a fairly tough period in the last 12 months of some uncertainty.
Thank you, and first let me wish you and all the viewers of NDTV Profit. I wish them a great year ahead. And answering your question itself, I think as you mentioned, last year was lot of events were there which were affecting the markets adversely. But going forward, I think things are going to better this year. Some events will always play out in every year. But my belief is that the coming year will overcome, the one major issue is the tariff which is pending. Most other issues are perhaps behind us. So this year, I see it a good year. I think I will see that at least 12 to 15% rise I expect in the next Samvat. Last Samvat, if you look at from the angle, last Samvat was only 8-9%. But see, before that, it was 25%. So I think if you have to take a cumulative 3 to 5 year return. That's what I've always been advocating, that friends, if you invest in equity market, take a little longer view, at least 3 years, 5 years, then this asset class is likely to give you the best return compared to other asset classes.
From Mr. Rathi, what are the sectors that you see are really taking it forward, taking the current themes forward, which is consumption, corporate earnings improving, more people going out and buying after the GST cuts? What are the kind of sectors and stocks, which are really going to see the benefit?
See, as I always mention that in a growing economic like ours, where we'll grow at least 6-7% GDP growth, 11-12% nominal growth, I think every sector will have very shining companies. But if we talk only on the sectors, obviously the theme today is all the consumer themes. The interest rates coming down. I think liquidity in the market increasing. So NBFCs, banks, I think GST coming down will help. Again, consumer story of durables, automobiles, anything which is of consumption. So those stories are going to be really good. But long-term stories of India, let's not forget IT, which have seen up and down. But long-term, I would think if you IT is India is the hub of IT, and will continue so. AI will bring more and more. It may take a year or two by the time our companies also become leaders in that. So I think these themes, to my mind, are good. With infrastructure, you'll see the cement again doing pretty well. That has been my forte also. And therefore, I think these infra-related sectors, both infra and other sectors, should do well.
So, words from the wise from market veteran Anand Rathi. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today, giving us your views, and wish you a very happy Diwali once again. Now, before we wrap up our special coverage here, the fact is that you see Neeraj and I a lot on screen, but we are just the tip of the iceberg. The real strength of NDTV Profit is a lot of it behind the camera. So, Neeraj, tell us what the buzz is and excitement is in the Profit newsroom.
Well, if we collectively take the sounds of all the people out here, I think it'll be deafening. So I've told them to quieten down a little bit. But what we are going to do is, Tamanna, is get our team on air.
Neeraj, you start off and I'm joining you because I'm feeling some FOMO here, left alone in the studio.
Please don't come. Let me just handle this myself. I want to enjoy everything out here. I'm going to talk to all the people out here. Some of those who you recognize on air, guys, and some of those who are behind the scenes and doing some incredible stuff. And I'm going to try and understand from them how is the vibe this Diwali for them. So, okay, let's start with Harmeet. Harmeet, I was told that you track IT out here and therefore I should ask you about IT. No, but more importantly, what's the vibe this Diwali?
So this Diwali, I'm just, praying Lakshmi to swing some of my stocks which are not working out from last 1 year.
Okay. Are you trying to do something for that? Are you going out and buying some of the consumer durables so that those consumer durable stocks do well?
Yeah, consumer durable especially for my wife.
What have you bought?
I got a mixie and some more stuff.
पूछेंगे हम उनके.
Yes, you can ask them.
Okay, fine, perfect. Okay, Ranjana, you are here as well. आप क्या कर रहे हो? You bought a new house, I believe, so you've done some good start. What else are you doing? What's the vibe this Diwali?
Sir, just decorating the house and myself.
आप तो ऑफिस में हो, तो डेकोरेशन कब किया?
कर लिया था कल.
अच्छा, बहुत लीनेंसी मिल रही है ऑफिस से. थोड़ा काम ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा. No, but happy Diwali, Ranjana, and great congratulations on the new purchase as well. Bushra, what does Diwali mean for you? What have you done this time?
So it's a new experience for me because I'm seeing Diwali in India for the first time like this in this office working here. So it's really amazing.
Are you liking it?
Yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving the lights. I'm loving the whole vibe, the colors. It's amazing.
Sohana is hiding behind, so I'm get Sohana to the front and then gonna get Yukta and Ejaz as well. But Sohana, what does Diwali mean for you?
It means prosperity. It means more money, more wealth coming in.
More money? You've gotten more money this Diwali?
Not this Diwali, but I expect some to come.
Okay, well, for the people who are decision makers, keep this in mind. Yukta, what does Diwali mean to you?
It means family time. So that's something I miss this Diwali because this is, I think, the first Diwali that I'm not at home or my family's not here. So That is one thing.
आ गई तमन्ना आहा कबाब में हड्डी You bet.
No. So I think you should, Neeraj, also tell people who these guys are and what they do. So what you're saying is, Sohana, Yukta, Kamya, these are the backbone. This is the team that puts together what we see on air. These are the producers, the desk is the backbone. Ranjana, of course, helps fix all the lovely speakers that you see on air. So everyone has a great role. Samvat Sarkar, of course, you know. And apart from what you see and his mithai stocks, Samvat, I didn't ask you what is your favorite mithai because you're on a permanent diet, aren't you?
Yeah, I am on a permanent diet, but yeah, I'll prefer Kaju Katli.
Kaju Katli it is. Okay, you have to be the person who makes sure that Profit's flashes are first, and that's Aditya. And Aditya, I hope you're having a great Diwali as well.
I am having a great Diwali, and with all the entire NDTV Profit family, the flashes, the guests, the coverage, it has nothing less than fireworks here.
He made sure he gets his instrument.
I have to take the camera to the person who does all the decorations, is the backbone and the spine for everything that happens at NDTV Profit. Ejaz Sheikh. Ejaz! 3 cheers, but what does Diwali mean for you, Ejaz, and what have you done this Diwali?
I've been working. So I was working yesterday, I'm working today, and I'll be, of course, working tomorrow. That's it. But Diwali is a great festive time for everybody. Yeah. I just love this place getting decorated with such colorful things. That's it.
Certainly. Yeah, and okay, let's just come this side as well. Don't miss out Rasik. Rasik, aaja. Rasik here, who helps make sure that everything is proper. The reporters have their cameras and everyone's coming in time. So Rasik, what is your favorite Diwali mithai?
My favorite Diwali mithai is chakli.
Chakli?
Yeah.
वो मिठाई थोड़ी होती है?
मिठाई है. The one of the Diwali treat. Only Diwali treat. I'll get chakli only on Diwali.
Yeah, and there's excellent chakli from Rasik's house which comes every year. Is bar aaya nahi hai, I'm waiting. Okay, Varsha, I just want to understand from some of our team how they look at just Diwali coverage and what Diwali means to them. Varsha, just what has been your experience at NDTV Profit with Diwali, and how are you seeing your sector move ahead?
So it has been great. I've started my media career from NDTV Profit, so it's been 2.5 years. And coming to what I did for Diwali, I love research, and I've been only researching about stocks. And yeah, pharma will do well. US Biosecure is back, and no tariffs on generics.
So yeah, Varsha always on the ball. All right, so Neeraj, as we wrap up, this is of course Team NDTV Profit. This is our family, and this is where we love spending Diwali and bringing you great content every day, day after day, and all of us very passionate about what we do. So from our entire Profit family to all of you at home, wishing you a very happy Diwali.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way.
You are the new schools and colleges which people are getting access to education from.
नहीं बढ़िया आपके काम के आपके तो नाम में ही प्रॉफिट लगा हुआ भाई.
In the world of money and markets, the real currency is clarity.
So you guys have democratized information, and I think first you seeded the market, now the market is seeding you back out there.
Decisive, discerning, distinct. NDTV Profit isn't just business news.
We are like visiting faculty occasionally who come and get a chance to share what we can, but I think it's a great service.
It's the new language of markets, and the voices that move markets know it. Understand markets, decode money through the masters who shape them.
I think we are trying to get knowledge to smaller cities and towns, making it simple for retail investors. I think what you're doing is also contributing to the Indian capital markets and Indian economy.
When leaders speak of markets, they speak to NDTV Profit.
What does Diwali mean for you? Lights, crackers, sweets, parties, family, profit.
Join us this Diwali
as we add more sparkle to your portfolio,
more punch to your balance sheet, and more flavor to your investment.
Because this festival of lights is also a festival of growth.
This Diwali, let's ignite your financial journey together.
Wishing you prosperity,
success, and light.
From all of us at NDTV Profit. Because we work for your profit.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way.
You are the new schools and colleges which people are getting access to education.
We are here at the Motilal Oswal headquarters in Mumbai and getting that festive feel on. I have, of course, the man that everyone wants to hear from, Ramdev Agarwal, with me. Ramdev sir, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV Profit. And if you're wondering what the spread is, so our idea was that we should have a meal together.
Yes.
I was told Ramdev sir only eats healthy, and coincidentally, so do I. So I just want to tell you what's on the table before we start our conversation. So we have salads here, we have some fruit, we have some nuts. Now, here's the theme that I want to take forward, sir. We are speaking at a time when people gorge on, Diwali is time to really let go. And the markets right now are also building up an appetite. Let me start with the question of how do you make sure this Diwali your portfolio is fit? There is not too much cholesterol of high valuations in what you have bought and no junk food or junk stocks. How do you do a cleanup of your portfolio like you do of your diet and nutrition?
Yeah, even wardrobes. So, so actually, this is a terrific question, and it's not only Diwali stuff. I mean, around the year you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to have a very healthy portfolio, and a healthy portfolio. One of the secret is that when I started in '95, when I read first time about Buffett, in my portfolio there were 225 stocks, and on this A4 page, it used to be 4 or 5 pages, 5 pages, And by the time I start removing, after first page I start feeling hungry. It never went to the 5th page. So, it is very important that you have the portfolio which is small enough, which you can have a look at it every day.
Lean,
very
like how?
lean, yeah.
So no buffets.
No buffets and no, too many children. You have to have very, very planned family. Okay, so that's very important. And so that's first starting point. I mean, that's how I would rather say the way I do it. It may not fit everybody, but as per me, having a few so that you can spend time thinking about those stocks, because companies, they go through their own life cycle of prosperity and then decline. So you should not be over sitting, when the prosperity phase is over and when they're declining, you don't want to go to zero again. So from 1 you go to 1,000 and 1,000 to 0, no point. So the real fun is to buy the stocks which are going to go from 1 to 1,000 and have few of them so that you can ride it all the way.
So clearly 225 stocks is too much.
Too much.
What is the right amount? How much do you think should be an ideal
I don't think you need more than 15, 25. Like if I look at our schemes here, Motilal Oswal, every scheme will not have, none of the schemes will have more than 30 stocks.
That's the cap you have
That's
kept?
the cap, because we are managing 30,000, 40,000 single scheme.
Yeah.
But if you have 100 crores, 50 crores, 5 crores, 10, in 10 crores, you should not have even 10 stocks, I'm telling you. The right number of stocks to have is as many stocks you know. If you know 3 stocks, should have only 3.
Okay, when you say no,
Yeah.
when you say no your stock, a lot of people who invest don't have the time to sit and deep dive into a stock or actually look at it so carefully. They have a lot of information and maybe not the ability to analyze as well. So how do you know a stock? Sometimes they look at, okay, what have big funds bought, what have big investors bought, and that's what they follow.
This is a fundamental issue. You don't have to know. If you are an investor in equity markets, when we started, there were no mutual funds. Today, you have brilliant mutual funds. They are doing better than most other retail investors. They are actually performing far better than a retail guy because retail guy doesn't have a reach. If I am managing 50,000 crores or a lakh crore in one single scheme, I mean, the company guy is waiting for my call. You know, so and of course, the call itself doesn't matter much. It depends on my understanding of the company and whatever is there. So I think it's a 24/7 job, and it is very competitive with a lot of money coming in. FIs are there now. DIIs. You saw the today's paper. They have bought already 5 lakh crores in 9 months.
Yeah.
So if you do pro rata, I think we're talking about 6.5, 7 lakh crores, which is 2% of GDP. This is a sign of things to come. So it will become very competitive, and hence, unless you are a master, very passionate about picking a stock, don't bother about it. Go and buy nice mutual fund, good mutual funds. They will do the job.
Mutual funds, I'm not talking about any specific ones, और मैं आपके funds की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, but mutual funds have not necessarily given great returns in the last 1 year.
Listen, when you have 15-20 stocks, you are already making a mutual fund. When you buy, say, 20-25 stocks, you are creating a mutual fund of your own. And what right it gives you that your mutual fund will do better than the mutual fund managed by professional? You just try. You look at the guys, how they have done. See, there are very few Rakesh Jhunjhunwalas and Ramesh Damanis of the world. You know?
And Ramdev Agarwals.
Yeah, I mean, I used to pick up stocks. Now, I mean, I'm much more focused on managing the company. I mean, for me, the stock is Motilal Oswal only. So my bulk of the time goes in managing Motilal Oswal. So, but then you need to be very good at it, and there are very few guys, and it takes a lot of time. Lot of time. You have to read a lot of books, a lot of balance sheet, a lot of con calls, interactions. Keep watching the results. Where is the newest style coming in, new high tide coming in? So it is a full-time job. I would think that average investor, like we are talking about 3 million investors coming every month, a lakh investor per day. You are not producing Rakesh Jhunjhunwalas every day 1 lakh. So they have, I mean, with due respect to all of them, I want them to make a lot of money. Very few people, they are able to beat index also in their portfolio, and there are a lot of junk because they know how to buy. I mean, you tell the guy and he'll buy, but they don't know when to get out.
Yeah.
You know, so then making money is about getting in and getting out both. So I think that's what the professionals do very well. And there is a tax shelter also if you buy mutual fund.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
No, so coming back to the point about high cholesterol in your portfolio or high cholesterol in the markets, where do you think markets are right now? We've had a few good days, no doubt, but the fact is quite off the highs. It's been very rocky. There's so many factors that we have no control about, frankly.
Yeah.
And FIIs seem to have not too much interest in India right now. In such a long cycle of how you have tracked markets, how would you describe where we are right now?
See, where we are is consolidation phase. You know, after seeing the highs last year, there has been an intense selling by FIs, and who buys, who sells doesn't matter because number of stocks are same.
Yeah.
Okay, what matters is the value of the company growing. Now, value of the company grows at the pace at which the earnings grow. So, if you take the entire country and, as I say, one index, Nifty is like 60-70% of all the companies listed in terms of market cap. If there is a 462 lakh crores of listing today, we are talking about 300 lakh crores of Nifty only. Now, Nifty as a stock will go up only if all the earnings they blow up. Now, earnings are growing at 5, 6, 7%. What do you expect? There's no firecracker.
Why do you think so? Because
no, that's what is the number.
No, but it's a more meaningful question. I'm asking why you think so because you see the GDP data looks great. High frequency indicators look quite positive.
Yeah.
Government has reformed GST.
No, high frequency data are now trailing. Now look at what we look at it. Now housing loan growth. See, roti, kapda and makan. Makan is the biggest capital investment by household. Okay. Kitna बढ़ रहा है? 2.5, I think last month was 2.9%. It's shameful number. I mean,
despite interest rates coming down.
Despite it will take time to pick up, but 2.9% is what we are playing with in this quarter. So now with 2.9% growth in the housing loan, number of houses made are literally zero. Like it is same. There is no growth in number of houses being built. What it means is that demand for cement, demand for paints, demand for steel, they would all be very weak. And that's what tells in your, what you call, I mean, when you buy a house, you buy durables, you buy non-durables, you buy curtains, whole lot of things you buy. That's not happening. People are busy in running their life as it goes. So, I'm talking about as a nation. So, we have to, I mean, it is for the policymakers to see why it is at 2.9%. I don't have any answer to that. Of course, what I can see is that the credit flow has it been tightened. That is one. Second is that are we paying too high an interest rate? Like my inflation has come down to 1.5% or less than 2%, and my discount rate is 5.5. So my lending rate is 7.5. So how much real interest rate you are paying? People cannot pay that. So I think those are some genuine questions. Even GST collections, they have. Now I think monthly collections are up low single digits. So clearly,
And the growth in monthly collections.
Yeah.
But your base has also grown.
there is no base for a country. Nominal GDP keeps growing at 10 to 11% for last 45 years. And it will keep growing at 10, 11%, 12% for next 45 years. So there is no base effect at a national level.
Yeah.
There can be base effect for the company or for the individual. There is no base effect for anybody. GST has to grow at the rate of nominal GDP growth rate or more. But that's not happening. Now, if the GST or tax collection is not happening, obviously the economic activity is slow. So direct tax will also be slower. So direct tax collection, indirect tax collection is slow. Government coffers are not filling very fast. If government coffers are not filling very fast, the expenditure by government will also be slow, because government has to spend whatever is the essentials, where they have the salaries and interest payments and all that has to go. What is left goes into your discretionary build-up, which is called capital expenditure and all. So that also is running slow. I was talking to a steel guy yesterday from my native place. He said, Ramdev, I have not seen worse steel market in last 30 years.
So then my question is there a bubble building up? Because valuations...
Why you go that quickly to bubble and all?
Acha.
There are a lot of, see, you asked something about high frequency data, we talked about it. But a lot of good things are also happening.
Okay, let's talk about some of the good things.
So, what are the good things happening? You saw the DI buying of 5 lakh crores.
Yeah.
So, this for 9 months. So, what is going to happen for 12 months? We are talking about another 1.5 to 2 lakh crores. So, that makes it 6.5, 7 lakh crores. That is full 2% of GDP. Now, when your performance is actually flat, performance is 4-5% year on year, isn't it? So people have faith in this market that it will come back, in the course of time. So now we have unleashed the power of retail investors in India, which we kept it under leash for 70 years. In 2020, when digital onboarding started with the digital infrastructure, digital payments, and we started getting 3 million customers every month. And even till last month, we have got 3 million customers, 2.5 to 3 million customers. Last year, we got 41 million customers in a year.
My God.
Which is more than 3 million per month.
So when the regulator, when SEBI came and tightened up on F&O, etc., did you see a big drop over there, and have then activity lessened accordingly? Because you have new unique customers coming in. Bharat is now discovering.
Yeah, that's why the index,
markets.
cash market is holding out.
Yeah.
But F&O volumes and all have been, the leverage in the market is getting removed. And that's why the market's also not doing well. See, when you remove the leverage, the one side you are buying, but other side the leverage money is going out. So what happens is that the market actually could have tanked if there was no DI buying. When you remove the leverage, and if there is no DI buying and FIs are selling, you imagine what would have happened. Just because the wall of money from retail is coming, even the withdrawal of change in the regulatory regime for F&O has not impacted the market. Now, once we are done with the from daily expiry to weekly expiry, hopefully there is no more tightening. Once we are set with that, then the natural flow, natural expansion in the broking and everything will happen.
No, so I was actually going to come to that. So I have a two-part question. One is philosophically, what do you feel about the thought that the retail investor does not know enough about futures and options, so should be protected? What is happening essentially?
How to protect him?
What is happening at the core of it? The idea is, let's protect the retail investor.
Yeah, sure. No, we must.
Does it make sense? Should we be protecting the retail investor?
Yes, we must be. We must try everything. See, I mean,
So
if
you-
somebody
so you
wants
agree
to
with
see
what-
somebody,
so you
see,
agree
there are
what was
all kinds
happening?
of retail investors. There's not one type. You cannot say this is a real retail investor. All types of people, ignorant, not so ignorant, very smart, very, very professional. I mean, retired army guys, I mean, officers. They say, sir, now the best job is to 9 o'clock, I'm not available. You know, the moment market opens, he's there as a professional trader.
लोगों के घर चल रहे हैं।
Yeah, so what I'm saying is there are all kinds of profiles. The guys who are good at it, let them do it. But the guys who are innocent, the person who doesn't know what he's walking into, those guys should be safe. Like if a small child is going into a swimming pool, he doesn't know that swimming pool is 5 feet deep. And
So should we be treating investors, should the regulator be treating investors like small children?
to some, I mean, in terms of guidelines, you know, yes, I mean, whatever educational thing they can do, they can run campaign like what we are saying in mutual fund. Mutual fund सही है. Like that, speculation के बारे में आप कुछ कर सकते हो. So people should be cautious. Like people know that cigarette is injurious in terms of smoking, and yet people smoke. So what do you do about it?
No, which comes to my question.
Yeah.
What is happening right now is not just caution, it is action. You are making it more and more difficult to trade futures and options. Now there is a thought that weekly options will also be phased out slowly.
Quite possible. Quite possible. But it will
How do
have
you
again
see
its own implication. Again, leverage from the market, whatever little leverage is left, that will also go away. Then it will become a cash market. See, India is a very peculiar country. Tamana, you must understand. Here, 50% of the market is, first thing is, it's a relatively small market for the world. You know, in 125 trillion, we are just about 5 trillion. So, in a way, it's large, but third or fourth largest, but still very illiquid because 50% is held by promoters.
Yeah.
Unlike in US and all, where 2%, 5%, 10%, there's no class like promoters. Here, people have 75%. They take pride in saying we own 80% of, we own 70% of Motilal Oswal. So now this in this situation, the floating stock is very limited. So it is if you don't have the leverage money, you know, the F&O and all, then the liquidity goes down big time. So when the big investors like say one mutual fund which are now 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh crores, they want to buy even a percentage of their fund, which is 2,000 crores. How do you buy? The spike is very large, and then they want to sell.
Is that why value is being hunted in pre-IPO private equity?
Yeah,
This is
because they can get
something-
blocked.
This is something that, you know, you've gone big on as well, and
Yes.
Motilal Oswal has gone big on. So, a couple of questions on this. First of all, why will this trend continue, and how do you spot those winners? Are there enough winners out there?
There will be enough winners, more than you can digest, I can tell you this. The issue is that it's not a free lunch anymore, because if the market is depressed at 10 PE or 12 PE, then you cannot go wrong. But in this market, you can go wrong. But you'll go wrong also. But when market is at 10 PE, you pick up any of the junk, you'll make money. Okay, you don't need brains. And but when market is at 25 PE, you need a lot of brains. And that's where the difference is. So, and that's why I'm saying, retail investor, the innocent guy who's walking in first, he should not start with the stock. He must go to the mutual fund, learn a lot, and then slowly
People
start.
are. That's why that wall of money is coming
Yes.
in. Mutual funds are well established here. But I'm just talking about what we're seeing, because when people make some wealth also, family offices and private equity is becoming the buzzword.
Yes, they'll become very large.
यहाँ पर उतना मिल नहीं रहा है. You know, people now are not getting that kind of appetite or option or alpha that they're seeing in cash markets. Enough people.
तो
are
रोज
not
अल्फा
looking
थोड़ी
at
बनता है भाई. रोज अल्फा नहीं बनता है. आपका थोड़ा पेशेंस भी चाहिए. Patience is the most important fertilizer for this market, for the investors to become very big. इधर पैसे बहुत हैं, and this is just about the beginning. I mean, money making in India is not even started, I'm telling you. The real game is starting now.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is that money being made apart from those who bought gold?
That's okay.
they are
That's
sitting
okay. I mean,
pretty.
you all the ladies, congratulations. so yes, gold has done exceptionally well, way beyond my imagination.
Yeah.
But that's a very small asset class. I mean, if you have 100 crores, how much gold will you have? Maybe a crore, maybe 2 crores, 3 crores. You cannot be buying 100 crores gold. The whole house will be loaded with gold. So you know, what I'm saying is that gold is not my forte. I mean, the metals and all must be somebody else who might be expert. But I mean, fundamentally, gold and all these metals, they are what do you call inflation hedges.
Are you
Because
seeing it as a warning sign that gold has run up so much? Because it's a safe haven asset. There is uncertainty in the world. Some message comes from the US every morning and we don't know what it means.
So I also don't understand anything. I am seeing what you are seeing. In fact, you are spending more time seeing all this. But my sense is people are running away from dollar. There is some fear. There's too much of dollar assets around. Apart from the dollar, what do you call circulation, actually the market cap. See, once Nvidia goes to $4 trillion, you have printed $4 trillion of liquidity in the system. So that money is a lot in the system. Of that, just about 1% of Nvidia somebody sells and says, let me get that much gold. You're talking about 400 million or something like that. Some crazy. 1% is like $4 billion or $40 billion. $40 billion. Sorry, yeah. I mean, I'm losing the numbers. So $40 billion. So that's the kind of number you're talking about.
Yeah.
So clearly, people are, there's a lot of geopolitical stuff and all. But things will stabilize. Things will stabilize. And the companies will do well. World is becoming very wealthy. Huh? Mind you one thing. With all this noise, world is silently becoming very rich. World is becoming very
Indians
rich.
also want to become very rich.
Yes, so we are becoming wealthier faster. It took 60 years to become a $1 trillion economy. It took another 7 years for second trillion. Another 7 years, including COVID, for third. Fourth came, between third and fourth came in 3 years. Now fourth to fifth will come in 2 years. And fifth to sixth in 1.5. And 7 to 8 will come in 1 year. 1 year.
So for the next 2 years,
Yes.
for the next landmark,
Yeah.
what is, in your top of mind for you? Because there are some winners, we've talked about Dixon, Eternal, etc. in the past.
हो गया.
अब हो गया, वो story खत्म है. Is there an AI story? Because that's the big lament, ना हमारा AI story.
For that,
कहाँ
you
है?
better interview all the fund managers, those who are picking stocks.
No, what are you? I'm not telling you
Yeah.
to pick stocks. I'm saying, are you seeing the top of mind stories there? Are they missing in India? We have 1 or 2 data center खेलना है तो एक दो
Tamanna,
option
I'm
है.
telling you.
AI एक दो option है.
Yeah, what I'm saying is.
Semiconductor एक दो option है.
तो कुछ पैसे बनने वाला नहीं है.
तो कहाँ बनेगा?
हाँ, so कहाँ बनेगा जो पैसे कमा रहे हैं? Who is making money in India? Doesn't matter if even if he's making shoes or selling shoes and not chips. See, by selling chips, if you have to take money from government, I would not like to buy that stock.
So you don't like this PLI incentive wala stocks?
No, but individually it is different, but generally, where is the money being made? If the stockbroker is making money, I would like to buy his stock. If AMC is making money, I would like to buy their stock.
Yeah,
But
they
if,
are the ones who
if
are
they're a
making-
very fancy insurance company but not making money, I'm not interested. So I want anybody who is making money. I don't care a damn about what is the theme. Who is making money? Now, because 3 million customers are coming every month, there's actually plenty of business in the stock market and capital market per se. All the capital market guys, see, all the capital market guys are doing very well. Whether it is depository, whether it is exchanges, whether it is brokers, asset managers, wealth
But
managers.
there is a regulatory cloud.
वो चलते रहेगा. ये सब क्या आप रिटेल पैसे मैनेज करो. It is better it is managed. I have seen situation when SEBI was not there till 92. It is a free for all. I mean, you imagine you bring your money, so then the trust in the market goes down. Nobody wants to come here. People go and buy plots, they'll buy gold, they'll buy some crazy stuff. They'll not come to buy financial assets. For financial assets to grow, it is securitization. You just give money on the faith. So my legal system, my listing system, my insider trading system, they should all be fantastic. It should be best in the world. I think we are one of the best in the world, probably the best, but we can be even better. We can set a standard for the world.
So, your message as we wrap up this interview, and we should get to our salad lunch, which
Yes.
we never managed to have. But as we wrap up our interview, your message to the Gen Z investor, who right now is very excited about crypto, is very excited about whatever is fast
They're
and
speculators,
easy.
they're not investors. They're all
They're
speculators.
using their pocket money, they have nothing to lose. Or
Bye-bye.
very, very little. I mean, they want to try something new. What is your message to them?
No, I mean, see, first thing is you must understand whether you're speculating or investing. Don't confuse this. If you're a speculator, you love it, do it. अभी आप जैसे दिवाली में 3 पत्ती खेलोगे, उसका मतलब ये थोड़ी ना हो कि आप बर्बाद हो गए. ठीक है, 150 रुपया आगे पीछे हो जाएगा, उसमें क्या अंतर पड़ता है? But you had fun. So for fun you are doing it, or are you doing as a serious bet? you are putting 90% of or 100% of your net worth onto that as a margin money and all, then be careful. That's not the way. There, for 100 guys, only one winner will be there. 99 will be loser.
Okay, so for
Just
anyone...
listen to this statistics. In speculation, even if 2 or 3 guys win out of 100, it's quite a miracle. But in investing in India, I think 100 will win. 99 will win. I get you. You tell me pure investor in last 20 years, आगे तो क्या क्या हो? You will not find anybody who has not made money. Somebody would have made a lot of money, somebody would have made a little less money. So this is the statistics. Your viewers, young viewers, they must not get into speculation without competencies. And then I wish them that they are 2 out of 100 rather than 98 out of 100.
No, so I was going to ask you this. For every 10,000 rupee of saving, I'm starting with a very small amount. What should the split be right now?
I would see, you are starting small means you are very young. If you are very young, you have 25, 30 years of accumulation phase for your wealth. Go and buy SIP. Best SIP you have. And keep dumping not only 10,000 but whatever you save extra. Just keep putting. You will not realize in 25, 30 years how much money you will have. You will be one of the richest person around.
So slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
That happens with your portfolio, with your health and with your diet. So
that's how I built Motilal Oswal, and that's how we'll keep going from here. Not in hurry. We are not in hurry at all. The moment you are in hurry, you will lose.
Well, that's the big message coming in with this, Samvat. Have patience, enjoy this festive season, but
enjoy
keep
being
your discipline.
Indian. Enjoy being Indian. It's a blessing of God, at least for the guys who are in the stock market, to be in India.
Why is that, sir? Please elaborate.
Because there are only 2 compounded markets. One is, of course, US, and second is India.
That's where we are right now. Thank you so much, sir. Wish you a very happy Diwali. Thank you so much.
Very happy Diwali to you, your team, and all the viewers of NDTV Profit. Let them make tons of money.
Wonderful. On that message, thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us. Ramdev Agarwal ji with a great message. Have patience and watch for the companies who are actually making profit. Doesn't matter what else they do. That's really our theme here on NDTV Profit. So thank you so much for joining us on this special show.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched.
I hope you're watching NDTV Profit a lot.
Absolutely, you can come to my office and you can see.
Neeraj, Tamanna and the entire Profit team is also working super hard on building a world-class financial news product, and therefore it's good that you're watching, and I hope you can see some churn and improvement as well.
No, absolutely. I think the NDTV Profit has come a long way since it was relaunched, and so I'm pretty pleased that what we require for the investor is the correct advice, correct information, and in a right way.
What does Diwali mean for you? Lights, crackers, sweets, parties, family, profit.
Join us this Diwali
as we add more sparkle to your portfolio,
more punch to your balance sheet, and more flavor to your investment.
Because this festival of lights is also a festival of growth.
This Diwali, let's ignite your financial journey together.
Wishing you prosperity,
success, and light.
From all of us at NDTV Profit. because we work for your profit.
The NDTV Profit has come a long way.
You are the new schools and colleges which people are getting access to education from.
नहीं बढ़िया आपके काम के आपके तो नाम में ही प्रॉफिट लगा हुआ भाई.
In the world of money and markets, the real currency is clarity.
So you guys have democratized information, and I think first you seeded the market, now the market is seeding you back out there.
Decisive, discerning,
Hello and welcome to the Diwali party at NDTV Profit. We thought that instead of trying to go out hunting for good food and good market advice, let's get good food and good market advice in our office. And therefore, Tamanna and me are hosting three very eminent fund managers today in our office over food, over gupshup, no alcohol, and some key Diwali advice. Tamanna, it's a great time to getting into the party mode.
Oh, 100%. And so we welcome Dinshaw, Harsha, Deep. Thank you so much for joining us on the Diwali party. Now, we've been having all of those conversations. And by the way, there will be food, not just these empty plates. Food is coming. No, I promise you it is. But, you know, let's start with how the beginning of the festive season versus the festive season, or if I count this Diwali, the run up to it and now is starkly different in terms of mood. Wouldn't you agree? Dinshaw, let's start there.
Yeah, definitely. So basically the whole party started off with the Prime Minister announcing that massive cut in, not cut, he called it a Diwali gift by saying that we're going to rationalize GST, reduce it for the consumers. I think that was the real push that was needed on behalf of the government to push the consumer to come back into the markets. Unfortunately, that happened on 15th August and 22nd was when the real effect took place, right? So 1.5 months actually went away in this quarter. So maybe the quarterly numbers may not be that exciting, but look at the background to all this.
You're not excited by what you saw over the weekend?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very excited. That's what I'm saying. But the quarterly numbers I'm talking about. I'm talking about the earnings growth.
No, I'm talking about the earnings that were posted this weekend.
Oh yeah, so okay, you're talking about the banks bit?
Yeah.
So the positive surprise there was that the NIMs didn't compress as much as they were supposed to. I think that was, so it's like a, less of a negative that took away the, so I'm very excited about that also, by the way. But I'm saying, look at the background that was laid out before this announcement. RBI came in, the new government came in. The first incentive that he gave was through liquidity in the market, right? Then he started cutting interest rates. Government on their behalf also, and they kicked in by taking the slab of 7 lakhs to 12 lakhs. So the whole layout was done, the groundwork was laid out, and then the consumer needed a slight push. I think the GST